The Democratic National Convention roughly kicked off on Monday with a party chairwoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz's resignation. Following that, influential speakers like Hillary Clinton's former rival Bernie Sanders, First Lady Michelle Obama, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, and U.S. Senator Cory Booker all came to stage to tell the crowd why they should vote for Clinton. The most important decision was made on Tuesday when Democrats officially announced Clinton as the first female presidential nominee from a large party. Former President Bill Clinton followed by backing his wife on stage. Mothers of the Movement, a group of speakers including mothers of the men and women who died in police custody, stole the spotlight that evening as they also came out to show their support for Clinton. Today, President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden are expected to speak on behalf of their female nominee, as well as her running mate, Tim Kaine, and former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. The convention will conclude tomorrow when Clinton accepts the presidential nomination in front of her party. She will be introduced by her daughter, Chelsea Clinton. Moving on, before we move on to the local side, I want to introduce you to our first guest, Bob Kappstatter. And we became friends.
You got it right.
Kappy, as you said, you were known.
Kappy is the easiest way to remember it.
Before we move on, we just want to talk about the DNC and get your thoughts on it. As we said, Monday was a great night, I think, for the convention. We started off strong with Michelle Obama's speech. What did you think about yesterday's with Bill Clinton coming on stage?
Well, as only Bill can do it. You know, it's when you compare the two conventions, Trump's convention was gloom and doom, fear and loathing. This one was puppy dogs and lollipops to make Hillary, to humanize Hillary. And I think they're doing a great job of it. Obviously trying to demonize Trump. The Bernie Sanders situation for a little high drama. I don't think that's over yet.
Well, as Sarah Silverman, she was on stage on Monday, and she told everyone who decided that they're not going to back Hillary that they're being ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. Great line. It's gonna last. I think right now Bernie has to stay with it, stay on message to his people. There's a lot of young, idealistic supporters out there who are very disappointed, and I think his job is to bring them back into the fold, because when you look at the polls, Trump and Hillary are going back and forth, but basically almost neck and neck.
Yeah, pretty close.
Trump got a rise right after the convention. I'm sure that Hillary's going to get a good rise after this convention. And then when they get into it, into the down and dirty campaign trail stuff, it's still going to be a close one. And I keep thinking of Brexit, the English vote. I would not sell this Trump short on this one. So I think they have to really humanize Hillary. Let's see, and they're talking about what Hillary has done, what she will do, and this is the message they have to push, and they have to humanize her. This is one of those elections where you have two candidates that nobody really likes that much. There's no Kennedy out there. There's no Bill Clinton out there.
So you feel the hope that we had 8 years ago with Obama coming in, do you feel that we're having that with Hillary?
No, I don't think we're seeing it as much. I think that's where they have to build, and they have to overcome these negatives. The DNC email hacking, that's going to be an issue du jour, at least for a while. Some of Hillary's baggage, I think that can be overcome. The Benghazi, the emails. I've got a very good friend who was, some woman was talking to her about, oh, Hillary, this Brexit, this Benghazi, and she asked her, well, explain to me that. I'm very glad you talk about that. Explain Benghazi to me. Explain this email thing. And the woman couldn't do it. I think the public is going on sound bites. So
you think they're ready to move on from her baggage and focus on
or do a quick soundbite explanation that's suitable?
Yes.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
What do you think needs to be said today by our president and by the vice president?
She's a good woman. She knows what she's doing. You've got a snake oil salesman running, and what's interesting is that his numbers are looking so good.
Which no one expected.
No, I think he's surprised. I think he wanted to do his usual annual, quadrennial run for president, tap out when it got to a point and go back to making money.
But it looks like he's trying to go all the way now.
I think he's stuck
Yeah,
with
I
it.
think so. I don't think he could back
Maybe
out.
he's stuck with it. We shall see. I mean, it certainly is an interesting campaign.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, before,
Exciting.
It's very exciting. I feel like, do you feel that they've become more united, the Democratic Party, they've become more united over the past 2 days?
Hopefully, yeah. I think that's the message of this convention, that we need to bring Bernie's people in. We need to be united, that the independents out there need to be drawn in. The people who are wavering need to be pulled over to our side. They need hard facts. They need reality.
Do you think he did his job doing that in his speech?
Bill?
No, Bernie Sanders.
Oh, Bernie Sanders? Yeah, I think it was a very strong speech. It was right on. I don't think he was holding back on anything. He understands that the unity is more important than the issue of him becoming the president or what happened with the DNC hacking.
Well, let's see what happens tonight with Obama and Biden on stage.
Let's see if they can top Bill. I think Bill and Michelle were the toppers on this one.
They were great.
Yeah.
They definitely were.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I know you have some local updates for us.
Well, it's campaign season. State races, assembly members, state senate, petition challenges are out there. There's a bunch of assembly members who are being challenged. Not strong challenges. I think they'll do okay. Borough president situation.
And it's been more, if we have about a minute, but just for those who may not know what the situation is.
Well, you have the primaries coming up in September for the Democratic and Republican races. Obviously, in the Bronx, Republicans are outnumbered 10-1 by Democrats, so it's almost a foregone conclusion. That's where the primaries are important, where you do have challengers. Most of the current challengers are minor candidates, not that well known. But the incumbents still work hard. They take nothing for granted on these races. I think the bigger issue that everybody is looking at is the mayoral race. What's Ruben Diaz Jr., the borough president, going to do? Is he going to sit this one out for a final term up here? Is he going to challenge de Blasio? Is it possible if Scott Stringer challenges de Blasio, Scott Stringer, the city controller, challenges de Blasio, Stringer would have to step down as controller. Is this an opening for Ruben? Whether Stringer wins or loses, if Ruben is controller, he's in place, he gets citywide recognition for the next mayoral race 4 years from now. So I think that's the big political undercurrent in the borough that everyone looks at. The immediate races, they'll settle down, they'll settle themselves.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bob.
That's
Pleasure
my 2
having you
cents,
today.
believe it or not.
We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.